So here's one of my U-joints. I spent hours last night. I've been just using this little puller here. I wish I had a nicer one, but I've been doing a lot of work getting the toy back up to running condition. I mean, it's always been running, but I was having some problems with lean codes, and I thought it was a fuel pump, and come to find out, I was watching my it's a Bluetooth blue driver scan tool, and I was seeing the mass airflow sensor just jumping and going crazy, and I couldn't even rev it up to 2500. It would just get to about 2000, start stuttering, and then it'd go away. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm approaching this wrong. I put an amp clamp on the power to the fuel pump because I was sure that's what I was going to have to drop the tank. It ended up being just the fuel regulator wasn't doing what it should, and the mass airflow. And after that, it was running beautifully. I did damage the radiator when I was getting up on it. It's quite old, and it has, put a little light on it. It had broken off at the top here, so replace that. And then just went down through and did a bunch of maintenance stuff. Trans fluid change, air filter. One of the elbows in the air intake had a crack right where it went to the throttle body. So I replaced that. Oh, there's been a lot of things here lately. Just trying to get it back. It's been pretty neglected, but it's been an awesome vehicle. I mean, I can't complain. It's a 2000 Toyota 4runner. I got a little work on the hood to do. There's a place in town here that color matches very well because these things come with this is dirty. That's just dirt on there, but it was actually the other side too. A clear plastic piece down here, and by the time I got it, it was yellowing really bad and cracking. So I peeled it off and ended up taking paint with it. So I sanded it out smooth, and then I went to the shop, got some color match type paint, and masked off everything else, and just carefully hit that, and it turned out beautifully. I believe I did both sides, but yeah, so down in this area, and like I said, it's dirty right now, but I mean, it did an excellent job. So I got to do the top yet. The top and the roof. Down in Tennessee, we get some pretty serious sun, so that the rack's coming off. That's going to get totally painted. And then redo the top. So anyway, long story longer. I was getting this vibration, and I took the drive shaft off. I'm like, what better way to isolate this, right? So I put it in 4-wheel, and then between 65 and 75, I was getting a vibration. So I removed the drive shaft, marked everything to go back the correct way. And I probably spent only about 2 hours, but something snapped when I was pulling this apart, and I slammed my finger up pretty good. So it finally came loose, but this one is the main problem. this will not turn. It's completely seized in there, and so we'll see how this goes. You can see that it's got a rust on it, and I'm sure it's just going to be real fun. You can see the cups were broken. Yeah. So I just want to do a quick video on this, just kind of showing where I am on stuff. The only thing I think I'm going to do yet is I have to change out the oil in the front rear differential as well as the transfer case, and then I'm going to call it from there because everything else is minor. I'll do the paint soon enough. I just want to tackle all the mechanical issues, and like I said, it's been a good truck. It's never left us anywhere, but I did get a really bad stutter a few times, like it didn't want to go, and I'm pretty sure that was the mass airflow sensor. I tried cleaning it. There's this, and then there's more stuff down inside, but it made no difference. And I've been told you gotta hold these upright. Can't do it like this, or else the mass airflow cleaner will go down on that board and ruin it. But I got another Denso for a little over 90. That's not bad. I thought it'd be worse. And then Toyota has this for about 70 something. So wish me luck, because I mean, once this is out, the rest should be golden. I don't have anything to protect on here, but I think I do have some small pieces of aluminum stock under the bench here. So maybe I can put that on there to help, because I'm going to have no leverage on this piece. Looking back, I probably should have done this one first. So, but hopefully we'll see. Like I said, this is not near as nice as the one that you guys were using, and it popped off on me at least twice, and one time it just, two of my fingers, I thought I tore the nail back, but I think it just hit it with a lot of force. So it's I just woke up and I'm out here and I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this and just praying it comes out decently. I'm gonna probably take a wheel or something to this, a little Dremel, and clean up as much as I can, because it is seized, fractured. It's probably expanded, so when I try to press it one way or the other, that's mainly what I'm afraid of. And if it comes right down to it, I've got the tools. This is not what you would normally do, but if I have to come in here and use my grinding tool to cut a slot, and not a slot, but cut through on both sides of this, and then knocking it out, I don't think it would be a problem. But trying to do the shift thing, I'm gonna try, but I don't see it happening. We'll see. Yeah, this thing is, I cleaned it up some and I tried to press that through, but you can see some of the needle bearings in here all twisted up, and it's almost like it's welded together. Now I think the cups will come out, but I've opted to go my little, I haven't used this thing yet, and it's just like a little I think it's a 3.5 inch grinder, and it's making short work of it so far. I'm not gonna be able to get all the way through, but if I get that center out, then I think I can drive these inward and or hammer them or whatever. But it's not gonna do it the way you guys did it. I tried shining it up and everything, and I'm just afraid it's gonna get hung on that Like I said, I had that thing under some crazy pressure with this over here, and it moved the other one. This one, it's not budging. It's all seized up. So like I said, if I can get this cut on both sides, get that center out, I believe I can just whack that and get that out of there, or press it, one of the two. Yeah, I just had to stop and say, this little DeWalt tool here is a monster. If you don't have one of those in your collection, you need one. That thing, I was through as deep as it would go, which this thing's probably still pretty hot. You can see a tiny little portion over in each corner. Just gave it a whack, came right out. If I spent more than 2 to 3 minutes on each side, I'd be surprised. It cut it like butter. Now it's time to see if it'll press out. So I'm just wrapping up the pressing in of the caps. All I got to say is listen to these guys when they say make sure the needle bearings are in their proper position. I checked it, double checked it, triple checked it. And I think what I did wrong is I allowed this thing to shift a little bit one way instead of keeping it center when the two caps go in there. Imperative. Because there's no other way. It was in there. One of them had fallen down, and when I had everything started to get it pressed, I couldn't get it in deep enough to get the snap ring in here. So I'm like, that can only mean one thing. So I had to carefully work everything back out, and sure enough, one of them was laying on its side. So when you do this, just like they say, triple check that every one of the needle bearings are around the edge. I think I got an old one, but they show it in the video. One of those fell down, and like I said, the only way it could have happened is I allowed this thing to shift too far when I was lining it up, and it must have just been just enough to grab it and lay it down. So when you're doing this, make sure when you're initially getting your caps in, whatever you have to do to make sure this is centered. Don't let it walk to one side or the other. Get a friend if you have to. I don't have anybody to help me right now, but that's imperative. All right, here we go. Got it back in place, and that was the cause of my vibration between 65 and 75. So I got it all back together and tightened down to spec, and the last thing I'm doing is just draining the front and rear differential and the transfer case. After I fill that up, I'll be good to go. Thanks a lot, Timothy and Jordan. Appreciate your help on this. It helped quite a bit.